January the 6th. Listen, the intro is and always will be approximately 2 minutes and 47 seconds. Honey mood. If you know, you know. And if you don't, you don't. You could skip it. You could join us. There's a timestamp below. Either which way. Guys, I'm digging deep today. As deep as possible. Really, really, really sick. And that's good news. I'll tell you why in 1 second. But yeah, just a quick story as we get together here. Huddle up. Man, my wife made a little bit of a mistake. And normally I book tickets, I do all logistics, things like that. This time she booked the tickets, and to God's providence, she booked me alone with the 6 kids, which is fine. That's fine. But the problem was that I had food poisoning, and on the line waiting, this is going back 2 days ago, on the line waiting, I like so sick, threw up, and they were like not even gonna let me on the flight. They did. We made it to Mexico City. She was able to join us there. Thank God yesterday, get us home. But listen, I'm, it's this is digging real deep. I want to be here with you though because I love you guys. I am absolutely committed to you guys and to showing what type of work ethic is necessary to conquer the markets. Listen, today's the first day that I could stand for a few seconds at a time. The good news is that I said that we are looking for the release here of V4. Either January 12th, and I said, like, January 12th is my goal, unless, like, life happens. Otherwise, it would be January 19th. But guess what? Life just happened. So here we go. It looks like that we will be on track for January 12th. I imagine within the next couple of days, I'll be feeling myself. It's going to leave Saturday and Sunday to be able to be fully committed to getting this out. And it looks like January 12th, Monday, will be the release date. So that's the good news. By the way, here we're looking at Bitcoin on V2, a little bit better of an entry. Notice that Solana, though, is long on Bitcoin on V4, holding an open position 4.8%. And you can see here, notice Ethereum is out. I know the alert in the Discord went off for Ethereum, but that's with ST2. ST2 checked off for when Bitcoin bull runs in the market. Hopefully we'll have a lot smoother of an experience with just V4 released. Either which way, boom, 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 boom. Bitcoin, that's good news. That's the good news, that it looks like because of this, well, that's life happening. And that opens up the door for a January 12th release. Starting the year off, Bitcoin buy side boost. This is buy side only across Bitcoin. Excuse me if I close my eyes. I'm digging as deep as possible here to be here with y'all. All right. Yeah. Last year and last year, V4 overall destroys everything, including Bitcoin bull runs. And by a large factor. Now, true enough, in 2025, V2 on Ethereum would have had a better performance. And, you have, like, we're not taking away CTM 2.0, the original. We're not taking away V2, right? Those are still accessible for anyone who chooses to trade them or to trade a combination of both. Just because Ethereum had 1 year of outperformance, and yeah, year by year, and overall performance should definitely be reviewed, but that's not something that would cause me anyway. For sure though, Michelle, 100%. Year by year and overall performance. I think that is essential. Buy side boost. Bitcoin starting the year off taking a full position, full allocation of the overall account. Taking the capital of Ethereum, taking the capital of Solana, currently holding a position open into profit. It looks like it would, if it were to close, be able to close here in some profit to start the year. Same thing over here with buy and sell side. Bitcoin Ethereum, Cardano, and Solana. I mentioned Solana was in V4 and is sidelined here on V2. We're skipping V3 and going directly to V4. V4 is a culmination of the last 2 years of progress made, and it is V3 and V4 rolled out at the same time. Notice over here, Solana, if you take off the S1, then it would be in this one particular trade, but that's that's a little bit meaningless in overall history over here. Here you can see without it, 35% drawdown, 24,000% return. And with it, the drawdown is reduced over here to a 23%. That's a big deal. The overall performance follows through, roughly about adding another 50%, but more importantly, dropping that drawdown down. So why this trade is sidelined over here on V2, that's the deal. Those filters are there to protect, and over the time, even though sometimes you might wish you were participating, does a good job in protecting. Similar situation here. We are 100% starting the year on equities in cash. Now is an excellent time for those who are not diversified between Bitcoin and crypto and stocks to start the year out doing so. Notice over here, TQQQ is on the sideline again, and it's because of the filters. It is CTM filter and the ST2 keeping it out of the trade. And we know that it's done a really good job over here. I don't have my pointer on. I want to pull it up though. 1 second. By the way, everyone celebrating Reyes today, Epiphany. A lot of you celebrated it perhaps on Sunday, but today is Reyes. You can see that over here, it protected us and kept us out and stopped us from taking losses. Again, this time, NASDAQ here is beginning to look healthy and lead. As per our expectation, when I say our expectation was that as the Fed began expanding their balance sheet, here's the Fed beginning to expand their balance sheet. You all know that my whole macro thesis has been the Fed cycle, right? Bitcoin topped over here when the Fed began tapering QE, when they began tightening. This is let's say something to consider, that over the last 2 years, over the last 3 years, Bitcoin and risk has been able to rally with monetary policy tight. Reason being has been fiscal dominance playing a paramount role in today's markets. Now the Fed is moving towards easing. We know that the last time the Fed began expanding their balance sheet, risk began to run really hard. And that was stopped once they locked down the globe. My expectation is that into this first quarter here, risk is going to find its footing and begin to run once again. Now, last time this happened, we saw that this is where it happened over here, September. We saw that Bitcoin did make 2 lower lows. So we're prepared that Bitcoin might not have bottomed yet. We also said, well, we're just looking for a playbook. It doesn't mean that it will put in a lower low. We're waiting and we're watching. From a TA standpoint, we see that Bitcoin here has made what is considered the earliest sign of a repair, right? So it has a breakout. It's confirmed now. Now we're looking at a retest. It could stop here in this area, or it could come down even much lower and stay above. Breaking below, that's a tough one over here, right? It's a tough one because you have a wick down over here. So hopefully it doesn't break down, because I don't know how to call that, right? But below, call it 86,000. That's upward sloping. That right there is going to lead to likely a larger leg down. We have to clear above this area over here for the first major meaningful repair, in so much as that's not the one. And I appreciate the look at that. That's all the way above 101. I don't have it above me here. But this breakdown over here comes back from here and here. So I'm off. Well, I did this again on when I was last with you on Friday. I made the same error. So we got to ultimately get above this area for it to be on. But by then, I imagine most everyone else who turned bearish will have then changed their whole opinion. For sure, that was a major breakdown for us, even though prices stayed above the April low. So indeed, we're still looking at higher highs and lower low. For us, that was a technical breakdown. I'm all over the place. Sorry. I wish I had my other chart. It's a good thing you guys love me because I'm sorry. This was that highlighted green line is indeed the first major meaningful recovery because it takes out the spot ETF low shakeout and it takes out the Japanese yen unwind. You could see that we broke down below this line, right? And that's in my view a structural lower low. And then you could see 1, 2, 3 times we tested into that line. It held as resistance, but now we have the first trend line break. So we're still in a downtrend. We're still overall in an unhealthy market. But if we break above here, that would be the first major meaningful repair. What was interesting to me was, anyway, y'all bear with me. Yeah, V4 is at a sample here in 2025 for quite a while. To get an exact date though, would need to go through a lot of history inside the Discord. But especially Ethereum has been out of the pocket here for quite a while. It's just and same thing with Solana and Cardano. It's just Bitcoin spending a lot of time with discerning what was the best template to go with. Thank you all for bearing with me this morning. Price of that line. So upward sloping starting today around 98,000, and you could see into the end of January about $100,000. That's where it is. We've had again that the significance of that structural line is that was the Japanese yen unwind low, August 2024. That was the Bitcoin spot ETF shakeout low, and you can see after breaking it, we tested it 3 times. So why this is the earliest trend line break, we're still in a downtrend. We have to break out above this line for me to say, okay, that was a meaningful repair that took place. Yep, 99 to 100,000. Yeah. So again, I normally like to say light and sweet, nothing sweet about it, but yeah, I just needed to make sure I showed up. And here we are. But listen, we're gonna call it very short today. I had to even take some ibuprofen to get here this morning. I'm gonna recover throughout the day. Tomorrow we'll be back at it, and we'll see where it takes us. I don't have the capacity today to do anything else than cover our positioning, then talk about the expected release of V4, and that right now sidelined on equities. Right now is a really good time to make sure that you are ready to diversify and be there. And one other thing about equities also, the way to play this in 2026 has slightly changed, right? And that's so much buy side boost behavior should be used between Tesla, between MicroStrategy and Nvidia. And then the other three, so that's 50% of the account. The other 50% FNGU, TQQQ, and the spot Bitcoin ETFs should be traded as their own allocation. It could be like for those that are aggressive, and if you wanted to, it does test out that going full buy side boost would be superior. Problem is that the drawdowns then become pretty substantial, and I just feel like that's a good mix between the two. All right. Appreciate y'all. Lots of love, Ace. I appreciate you so much. Thank you all so much for the understanding of the light session here. We got a lot to cover, but we got a lot of time ahead of us. It's all in its time. God bless you all. Have a great day, and I'll see you all tomorrow.